And we are live. How's it going, my friends from Facebook? This is Jose Trujillo, and we're going to do a painting. I'm gonna be doing a painting here live for you guys. We just prepared this canvas, and we are almost there. Boom. All right, let's get started with this canvas. Something like this. There we go. All right. So the way that I start these paintings is with a very simple sketch using black paint and a thin brush. These are going to be some water lilies. It's a very simple water lily painting we're going to be doing here. How's it going, Carmen? Hola, Carmen. And so here's our first water lily. Little flower. And then the lily pad. There's going to be another lily pad over here. There we go. See, very, very simple. Another one over here. This is going to be a bit of a circular composition for those of you who have understand a little bit about composition, or maybe you've seen one of my videos on composition, one of my workshops. This is what we call a curved or circular composition, because it brings us around. Okay, there we go. It brings us around. It does this thing. Let's put some shade, some shadow. Shadow goes down like this in small bodies of water. Oh, thank you so much, Carmen. How you doing, Diane? Lucy, good to see you. All right. So I'm gonna change my brush now, and we're gonna start putting some color in there. Now, what the way that I like to do this is by a technique called blocking. So what that means is that we're putting large areas of color, very thick paint in large areas of color, to start organizing somewhat organizing, right? Quote unquote organizing, where our colors are gonna go. And while I'm doing that, I'm also thinking about something interesting in the back of my mind, which is thinking about values. And what that means is simply where the light and the shade are going to be in my painting. I'm only thinking about blocking and values. Okay, so I'm thinking about the values. Where's my light? Where's my dark? I'm not really thinking much about my medium light. It's more very light or very dark. And so I don't hold too many things in my mind when I'm painting, so that I'm able to really get in there. One little thing at a time. See, very simple. Just begin blocking those colors so that we get some sort of idea of our lily pads here, our water lilies. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting. First start with the objects also. Here's another little tip. Start with the objects and then work your way to the background. It helps a lot, especially in this type of style. So I'm going to get some blue, some green. And let's start working on those lily pads. Again, the same idea is I'm thinking about light and shadow as I am blocking. Very little, but it's in the back of my mind in there. Not too invested in any of those things so that I'm enjoying the painting process as well. I don't want to be I don't want to be technically invested too much, right? Not too much. It's sort of like when you learn how to drive, you're thinking about all these things, but if you're not careful, you won't enjoy the bliss of driving. There's a bliss that comes with it. You know, you start hitting that accelerator, and there's a bliss with it of moving. In a similar way, you want to keep moving, thinking about those things, but also enjoy the process. Look at that. It's a very simple approach. But it is one that I really, really enjoy. I've tried different ways of painting throughout my career, and this approach so far has been the one that brings the most bliss in my life. We can even, there you go, we can even, so again, this is a curved composition. Okay, we have something, or a circular, we have something going on, and some space here. Things are happening around. And our eye is going to be traveling throughout the painting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that water, and then we can come back to this objects again, but I'm going to go into that water and just start putting some color there. Also, again, we're still in the blocking stage. Look at that. There's no hurry, there's no rush. Enjoy every brush stroke. Sometimes I look at it as like if you're ice skating on the canvas. There we go. Just a few brush strokes and then go back and get some more paint. Almost like ice skating. Absolutely, Kirk. If it doesn't bring that bliss, why do it in the first place? simple. I'm gonna get some more glue. I'm just gonna going back in those water lily pads. Look at that. Look at that. And I can continue with the brush, or I can jump into my palette knife as well. It doesn't really matter. There's no need for it to matter so much. We're doing the same thing. So I'll jump with my palette knife here, which is the same way. Like if I'm ice skating, or if I'm decorating a cake. Now I don't just want it to be super light with blue here. I want there to be some depth in there as well. And one of the ways to do that is to simply introduce a different color. It doesn't really matter what color. I mean, I guess it does if that matters to you. Somewhere it is. So it's super windy right now here where I'm at, and so I think you can hear it a little bit stronger. What's that? Raven says, I checked out your Fine Art America. You give up the rights to all of the pieces you submitted. No, you never give up the rights. That is not what happens. You can work deals with them about that, but that's not what I'm doing there. No, you're simply providing the image, but you're not giving up the rights. Every time something gets printed, you get a very small percentage. That's how they do it there. But you're not giving up the rights. A lot of artists out there think that when you print stuff out, you're giving out your copyrights, but that's not. No, those are very specific contracts when you're working with licensing. That's a whole different thing. That's not really what you do there. It's very different than that. Look at that. Thank you so much, Sandy. I'm gonna get my palette knife again, and I'm gonna do some of that with right here. Look at this. It's almost like stained glass. This is what I love about the palette knife. it gives a little feel of having stained glass. Where I'm originally from, in Guadalajara, in Mexico, there is a lot of work around glass. A lot of glass artisans. They do a lot of stained glass, and then that blown glass. I don't know what the right or the exact name it's used for it here. We call it in Spanish vidrio soplado. It's blown glass, and then they create this beautiful sculptures, basically out of glass. And so, growing up there, it was a treat to be able to see so much beauty in the work of the artisans. What I want to do is bring that back. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. It's already well balanced, but I can stretch it a little bit. It's always fun to test the waters. Stretch it a little bit and try to bring some of that color. And almost it's like putting a lock in it. There we go. You see? It's almost like putting a little lock in it. Sometimes you'll see me do little marks. That's what I am doing them for. They serve as either I'm trying to close a composition, or I use them as visual weight. Sometimes something is off balance weight wise. There's so much weight over here, there's not enough weight over here. I don't want to put another object. What I'll do is I'll put either a complementary color or a very strong color on this other side, and it works really nice. So there it is. By the way, I am offering painting workshops. Anyone interested, you can always reach me here. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it, or I'll send you the link if you know about it. Let's put some movement. Movement is equally important in a painting, I believe. Especially in an expressionist painting, you want some movement. So one of the ways that I do movement is what I saw some of the masters do movement, which was getting things out of focus, bringing them out of focus, right? Not just putting little waves, but getting this and getting it out of focus, adding another dimension to it. And it appears as if there is movement. Of course, Monet did this very well with his water lilies. Play with the outlines. The outlines always show you what's happening in a painting. If there's movement, or the painting is just stagnant somewhere. No, you're giving them permission to print those copies, but they don't go in and start printing your work and then try to sell it somewhere else. That's not when you're passing the rights to someone, or a licensing deal, you're basically giving them the right to go print X number of prints, and then they can go and selling in another place. notches there. In Fine Art America, what is the basic, I guess the basic plan for most artists, or what I'm doing, is that you upload your photo, and yes, they can print it, but it's, you're acknowledging that they're printing it right there because someone made a purchase from your specific shop. And so it's a very limited thing. It's not like one of those contracts where you're passing the rights to a company, like a licensing deal, where they can get, for example, a painting like this and then print as many as they want, and give you a percentage of it, and they can go sell them in, I don't know, in as many places as they want. It's a lot more licensing is a lot more complicated. It's not really what's happening on Fine Art America. I highly recommend reading more about it. I couldn't explain it in this video, and quite frankly, that's not what this video is for. But I can tell you a little bit more about it. Check it out. Look at that. So there it is, my friends. Let me put my signature in there somewhere. And then I get tempted when I'm using this little brush. I start getting tempted to do some more drawing and some more squiggly lines. Absolutely, Raven. You can contact me anytime, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it, or I'll send you to an article. You can read about it. There it is, my friends. My name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. If you want to find out more about what I'm doing here with this painting, little demos, you can go ahead and contact me, and I'll be more than glad to walk you through my painting system. I love that. Take care and have a good night.